Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about the shadow and why learning about the shadow is important for not only strengthening yourself, your personality, but also becoming more aware of the thoughts you're thinking daily and not being so reactive towards them. Because when I used to suffer from severe health anxiety, I would get negative thought after negative thought continuously, and I would be so reactive over each and every thought, and by the end of the day I would be so drained emotionally. So the shadow is really important, and it was extremely important for me to understand the dark parts of myself. And that's what the shadow is. It's the part of yourself that you want to repress and ignore and say that's not me. That I don't even want to go there. The best way to describe the shadow is to look at Star Wars, the dark side, Anakin turning to Darth Vader, right? Embracing the darkness, entertaining the darkness. Also in Harry Potter 5, when Harry goes to Sirius and he's like, Sirius, I see myself as the snake attacking Mr. Weasley. Am I a bad person? I just can't help but feel this anger building up within me. And then Sirius says, we all have that light and dark within us. But what matters is which one you choose to act upon. It's your actions, right? And embracing that darkness, knowing that yes, you have this dark part of yourself. And in that awareness, through that awareness comes the choice to go down that road or not, simply. So the shadow was first coined by clinical psychologist Carl Jung. Now, somebody who wants to repress that part of themselves, the dark parts of themselves, they act impulsively, right? So I'll give you an example. Saying something that you later regret, that's the shadow. The shadow is, acting in a way, behaving in a way that you feel like isn't you. Like you'll do something, and then after you do it, you're like, where did that come from? That wasn't me. And a lot of the time, this traumatizes people because they do things that they can't believe they did, or say things that they can't believe they did, or they may cheat on somebody and they look at themselves as, I can't believe I did this, and traumatize them. It sends them into PTSD. And so when you're impulsive like that, you're fully embracing the shadow parts of yourself, the part that leads all the way down to hell, right? All the way down to Darth Vader, right? Or whoever, Voldemort, right? The most evil person you can think of. And so if you're aware, like Harry Potter, he's aware, like I'm aware, like I have this evil in me. I'm aware I have this anger. I'm aware through that awareness comes enlightenment. And just like the quote I said about Harry Potter, it's through your actions. You can choose through that awareness what you want to entertain. And so Carl Jung says about the shadow, if it is repressed and isolated from consciousness, it never gets corrected. So if you repress that part of yourself, you don't want to confront it, you ignore it, you don't want to be aware of that part of yourself, it's never going to get corrected. You're going to continue to be impulsive, where you cheat on people, or you continue to say things that you regret that make you feel weak. So when I was going through my anxiety recovery, it was through awareness of, oh yeah, I'm saying these things throughout my day that make me feel weak. Also, playing the victim is the shadow part of yourself. Saying things that make you feel weak, playing out that victim card is also embracing that shadow part of yourself. And when I would walk around and get these strong negative thoughts, such as, I hope my parents die. I hope these people die. What if these people die? And you get these crazy negative thoughts, and I would repress them. Like, oh my God, that's not me. I don't want to confront those thoughts. And they're so evil that, I would react with strong emotion towards them. Well, why am I thinking this way? And here's the strategy to confront those negative thoughts. The strategy is to ask yourself, when you get that thought, that negative thought that overwhelms you, ask yourself, do I really want this to come true? So you have to really ask yourself, do I really want this thought to come true? And when I would ask myself that, the answer would be no. That's the truth. That's the truth. And that's hammering and breaking apart the pattern of those negative thoughts and switching up that pattern, right? You want to break the pattern and really look at them from a different perspective. And that's what I was doing by asking myself that question. And also I was just basically saying or realizing the truth. I don't really want that to come true. Right? So that's the strategy here in today's video for those negative thoughts. Do I really want this to come true? And if the answer is no, which it usually is, then that's the truth. And you can let go of your attachment towards those negative thoughts by continuously doing this strategy. I always talk about this in my videos and to my clients, but Russell Brand, who I'm a great admirer of, he says, if you're holding a baby and you think about throwing the baby, right, then that awareness means that you're more in tune to your shadow and you're less likely to throw the baby. So it's the awareness of, oh, I'm having those thoughts, makes you not likely to throw the baby if you have that awareness. It's the people who throw the baby who do it impulsively. It's the impulsivity that fully embraces you in the shadow, that makes you truly evil, right? If you want to put it like that, right? So if you're truly evil, you throw the baby impulsively. But if you're aware of the thoughts of, why am I having this thought of throwing this baby? Then you're not going to throw the baby. You're just aware of the shadow parts of yourself. So whenever I would get a negative thought, I just recognize it. I just point to it in my mind. I'm like, hey, there's the shadow part of myself. Do I really want to go down that road? Do I really want to entertain the thought? Right? And through that awareness, the thought dissipates. It comes in one ear. I'm aware of it. I'm like, hey, there's that shadow part of myself. And then it dissipates. It leaves. Because I'm not attaching strong emotion towards the thought. The shadow parts of ourselves is unconscious, right? And if we react to that thought with strong emotion, then our unconscious is like, hey, this is what Brad values. This is what he wants to pay attention to. And then my unconscious keeps the thought around. But if the thought comes in, I'm aware, hey, there's the shadow part of myself, the dark part of myself I don't want to pay attention to. Or I ask myself that question, do I really want this thought to come true? And then through that disconnect, the thought just dissipates. It just leaves and doesn't come back. Or if it does, I'll just do the same thing again. And I notice throughout my day, I feel stronger. I feel more in control and less reactive to every single stimuli, every piece of information that's coming through, that's coming my way. So where your attention goes is what you value, right? Is what you value. And if your attention remains fixed on this certain negative thought, then your attention will always be there, right? So you have to break up that attention by asking yourself these questions. And people who are not connected with the shadow parts of themselves, they view themselves a certain way. Like, I would never do that. I could never act that way. They read something in the paper of somebody, killing somebody or cheating on somebody, or they watch reality TV and they say, I could never do that, or I would never do that, right? But then they get the negative thought of their own self doing it, and they become overwhelmed. Oh my God, why did I think that thought? I thought I was the person that would never do that or think that way, right? And that's the thought coming into conflict with their belief. They believe that they're harmless rabbit, right? They believe that they're a harmless, good person that would never do something that evil, right? But then they get the thought, they get the imagery, and then they react to it because it's coming into contact with those beliefs. But it's through integration with the shadow that now the person realizes, hey, yes, I could end up doing that thing because I'm a human being like the person I read about or saw on TV. I'm a human being just like them. I could end up that way, but it's through my actions that make me the way that I am, that determine what I want. What do I say? What do I say? And how do I act? Right? That's what determines the path that you choose to go down. Right? So being aware of, yes, I could be that evil person. I could do that thing. I would, but I choose not to. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. I hope this video has helped you realize and those thoughts, they are a part of you, right? They come from the shadow parts of yourself. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video or podcast. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.